Empress Zoe, in an attempt to keep Harold, even sacrificed her body in a side hall of the palace. But while they were engaged in a fierce battle, Emperor Aramis heard the commotion and walked straight in the direction of the sound. Fortunately, Kishan showed up in time. Harold then came to his senses and quickly adjusted his state before Romamus. Everyone was still in a state of shock, except for the Empress, who was still lost in thought alone. Although he managed to escape unscathed, Kishan had to remind him to keep a low profile, but Harold didn't agree.
I ask nothing of you.
The next day, Harold received a mask. Mistaking it for an invitation from Queen Zoe, Harold put on the mask without hesitation and went to the appointment. At the banquet, Harold saw a familiar figure and followed it without a second thought. But after arriving at the mysterious room, Empress Zoe's figure had long vanished, but beneath the mask appeared the face of Romanmus. Harold felt guilty, thinking that the matter between him and the queen had been exposed. Strangely, Romanmus not only didn't get angry, but also welcomed his arrival very much. After a conversation, Harold finally understood that Queen Zoe's seducement was actually instigated by Romanmus. It turned out that Romanmus had been suffering from infertility all along. In his middle age, childless, he hoped that the queen would give birth to an heir with Viking blood. But before Harold could react, the woman beside him took off her mask. Harold, sensing something seriously wrong, quickly covered the king's neck. At the critical moment, Mania showed up in time. Harold thought he would save the king at the first moment. Unexpectedly, he detained Harold on charges of rebellion. It was only at this moment that he realized all of this was Mania's scheme. But his target was not only Harold, but also Queen Zoe. So during the trial, Mania publicly accused her of having an affair with Harold. To protect his lover and companions, Harold publicly confessed to the crime and was sent to a sea prison. Without Harold's threat, General Mania soon seized the throne and threatened Empress Zoe with death to force her to marry him. 3 days later, Harold received a wedding invitation in prison. Mania will marry Zoe at noon tomorrow and ascend to the throne. At that time, his own head will be the greatest gift. But what Mania didn't know was that Harold had already made preparations for revenge.